Oh yeah, me again. Just getting the bike like prepped for a few different jobs I'm going to do. I put a bit of a suspension thing under there. It's only temporary, an XLC, which in fairness is pretty good. It's not bad. I tried some gold stickers over the top of that and I didn't like it, so I won't be doing that. I'll leave it as it is. But one job I've got to do, I've got a nice set of forks coming for it, exactly the same as what I've got on the Norco and on my Trek. And as you can see here, the actual front cable is too tight. It's all too tight. This is it's too tight on this bike. You can get away with it on this bike with the forks I've got on here, but the plan is get it undone up here, get the caliper off and down there, and then I'll put a new piece of cable in and I'll show you how it's done. It's a real simple procedure. I'll show you how to bleed it and everything, so if you ever got to change anything yourself, you can quite easily. Anyway, I can't get it off holding a camera, so I'll put the camera down for a bit and I'll get back to you in a sec. So this is how I'll set up to bleed. Straightforward job. I'll change this cable out, which is too short. This one here, this is the one that's too short. It's all on at the minute. I've kept it all together so that I'll put a rag around here, the blocks in. I need to unscrew this one, unscrew that one. After I fit the new cable, I'll size up the new cable now from my Trek, because the Trek uses the same forks as the Norco and it's the same forks as I got coming, as I explained earlier. But yeah, let's crack on with it. Yeah, so it's just a case of get these undone. There will be a bit of waste fluid. I will put a rag under there actually, which will catch a fair bit of it. Actually, I've got a tub here that I can use. If I remove this little screw, put that up there, I think the tub may just fit under. That was lucky. Now it'll undo by hand. So just wriggle them out nice and gently, and then you can see what type of fitting it is on there. So makes it straightforward. Basically there's two main types. There's this thin end piece that I'm pointing at right on the end, and there's one that's a little bit fatter. I think I've got one in here which is the fatter one. I don't know if you can see that, but that's like got a fatter end to it. But yeah, but I've got tons of them here, so I won't need to actually take this cable, like strip it. If the bike ever needs to go back with the original forks, I can put this cable straight back on. So let's pop her off at the other end. Simple enough procedure, popping these off. So obviously if I'm leaving this cable together, I just clear the fluid out of it. And as you can see, because I haven't undone the bleed screws, I haven't actually lost any fluid at the moment. I will do once I pop this one off. He's a bit tighter. Well, I've never seen one do that before. It's actually stuck in there. So I'm going to get some mole grips and try and get it out. If I can't, I'll have to just buy a brand new caliper. But yeah, that's not good. I've never ever known one do that before. Anyway, I'm going to need 2 hands for this one, so I'll get back to you in a bit. Well, that was interesting. There's the piece out now, but as you can see, I don't know, God knows why it was stuck in like that. I've never seen one that shaped, so I'm sort of not getting that. It's very, very strange, that. Okay, anyway. So basically, I've got to hope now that I haven't destroyed the thread in here, which I could have quite easily. No, the thread's okay, so I'm alright there, so that's good. Anyway, I'll go on and cut the cable now, and then I'll come straight back. So we got it right. Now I'm fitting the olive and the part that actually makes the seal. The olive clamps it, so, and I've got this nifty little tool that I bought a while back. So there you go, here's the tool. So basically, you put the cable in here, screw this up tight to the cable, screw that down tight, and it actually pushes it all in. And what I'll do is I'll show you how it works. It's all quite simple. Line it all up, like so. That's all clamped in. As you can see, I've clamped this in using this bottom clamp here. So that's all in there now. And now all you do is get the pin dead in line with the pin. So that goes inside the pin like that. Now before I do this last bit, double check, got this going the right way, got that going the right way. So I'm all happy. And just screw it down. And that, my friends, is a dead easy way to putting it in. And that's it. Screw that back off. Screw that back off. Put the tool back, which is what I haven't been doing lately. That's why my shed is a bit of a mess. So there you go. A tool worth having, that is. That saves a lot of time. On the side here is a cutter, and you can also break a chain with it. Very good piece of kit, that is. So basically there you go. So I've made the new cable, so it's basically just got to fit it all on now. So this piece will go in here like so. Not sure if the camera's getting it very well from that angle. Hopefully it is. It was a bit of a bugger screwing it down on the last one. Don't know where you can see it better like that. But it's just starting the thread. Once the thread is started, here you go, you nip up then. No, not yet. It's just where I made all them marks on it, getting it out. But I have screwed this right in, and it does go right in. So just hang on a sec. Okay, so getting back to it, that's why I couldn't get it to go into the thread with the new olive one, because the new olive was bumping into the old olive. And as you can see, she's all done up tight now. I'll clean all this up, bit of matte black paint on it when I'm finished, just to make it look tidy. But yeah, I basically got to hope when I bleed it don't leak, because I didn't have the right fitting. So I noticed on the other pipe what came out really well, there was a rubber washer, and there's no rubber washer on none of the ones I got here. And as you can see, I got quite a fair bit of fittings in here, but I don't have one with rubber washers. Anyway, let's crack on. Okay, so I know a lot of people do this their way or whatever way. This is how I like to do it. As you can see, I'm pulling air out of there. Hopefully you can see it in the camera. But basically, I put a syringe on both sides and just push and pull until air comes out of both of them, or one of them, or whatever. And basically, the more you do it, as you can see, hopefully you can see that. I'm not sure whether you can. What I'll do is I'll try and get the camera in a bit closer. I'm going to push this time, so you'll see the upper level on this one coming up. I don't know whether you can quite see it or not, but basically this one came up, but I didn't have any air at all that time. If you can see, it's slowly rising, but I think all the air is out of the system already. But this one you'll see it more. So now I'm going to pull. There's a little bit there, look, see it? So I'll pull a bit more. Always keep your eye on the two levels. Never let them drop out of sight, because that way you know that no air can be dragged into the system, only pushed out. It's a total different way of bleeding these brakes. Usually you would just put a bowl on one, and it works very similar really, but they always say bleed from here upwards if you're doing it on your bike, but it's just a way that I found myself that I like. There you go, see, another little drop of air just came out. So I'll let that run. As you can see, this one's coming up and this one's going down. It's a slow old affair, but it makes sure there's no air in the system for me. So basically, with these as well, you have one low and one high, right? So when you're finished, you always put your low one in first. That way you'll have a bit of leakage, like a bit of leakage coming out here. So always make sure there's plenty in this pipe up here before undoing this one, because that way you know that you've got fluid in there. So it just it's just a peace of mind thing really. So I'm going to push back up, and it is basically done. I'm going to set my rag up a bit better now, because this bottom one is the first one I'll be pulling out. So I'll get the rubber and that ready to go back in. Put the rag there, that should hopefully catch anything. That's the rubber seal and bung that I have to put back in. Oh, sorry, caught the camera then. Right, so basically now what I'm going to do is I'm going to push more down in, like so. Now I'm going to get my old bottle, what I took this out of, ready, because I'm going to need to put the fluid. Oh, I've let it go, let's see. Oh, it's right there, so that was lucky. But yeah, so now it's just a matter of unscrew this, do this bottom one up, and you'll see you lose a little bit of fluid. You can't odds that. I'll squirt that bit in there. So that's squirted in my can, and as you can see, I've got fluid coming out slowly here. So doing it like that won't allow any air to get in the system. Screwing back down, You know, everybody does it differently. I used to do it as they said, but I just found this a much better way of doing it than how I was doing it properly, if you know what I mean. You know, everybody sort of finds their way around, don't they? And there you go. Now all I got to do is get this one off, and obviously I would lose a lot more fluid because I haven't got a plunger in there, so it'll basically just sort of piss out of there if I don't do something with it. So my plan is clean this up a little bit more. I'll do that with another rag as well. So what I do with this one, because I know this is jammed in there, this pipe ain't going to reach. I was hoping to just suck it out and have done with it, but that ain't going to work. Right, let me just get rid of this a minute. Now I think, hopefully I've got one in here that is longer, that is what I have been using in the past to do it. There you go. And this one I reach into the bottom, see? There you go. So now I won't lose as much fluid. And to be fair with you, fluid is, the hydraulic fluid is not that expensive, so it really doesn't matter. Sorry I'm out of shot, I'm just trying to clean these things as quick as I can. It just makes it better. But yeah, so basically I've got my bolt over there to go in. So it's a case of undo him. I need him to have his little drip off somewhere. That'll work there. I want that one. And this one. And basically just do them up. As you can see, the fluid going down there. Now another idea is, when you're doing this, is to take your brake pads out, because you could potentially make a right mess of your pads, and if you get this stuff on your pads, you might as well chuck them. But there you go, nipped up. All nipped up, ready. So basically what I want to do is clean that up a little bit. You can see the way I've set it up so it drips down that way, so it's nowhere near my pads. That's why I left the pads in. But yeah, so now I can give a little press on the brake lever and see what it feels like. Feels like perfect to me. That is really good. Now another good test is to hold, when you pull your levers, to hold it on, and it shouldn't sink. If it sinks more towards the handlebar, then you've got air in there. Simple test that is. And as I'm looking and I can't see any leaks anywhere while I'm pressing hard, so that's good. I'll just check this fitting under here. Yep, can't see any leaks there, only from what I put on. So happy with that. Obviously if there was leaks there, I'd have to buy the correct fitting. So yeah, so I'm all happy with that. I'll leave that off for a minute actually. So that's them. So that's basically how you bleed your brakes. Now this brake I'm just going to hang it up for a while, because there's no point me fitting it yet until my forks turn up for the bike, and then they can go on the bike they've been bought for. So save messing about, doesn't it? But yeah, anyway, if you like what you see, click like, and remember, subscribe. Let's get them numbers up. Okay, I'll see you again. Stay safe out there and get out and ride.